Real estate is the most important thing in the world. If you don't own land, you don't own nothing. You know, a lot of times when I first started buying, I would buy cars, jewelry. I didn't ever pay my house off. I was like, I'm just gonna pay rent $3,000 a month. When a nigga just took $700,000, just paid off, but not knowing. But when I went to No Limit and seen how Master did it, it was like shit.
What they was doing?
It was buying houses,
like mansions.
Like buying them, like therefore we was like leasing. You get me? Leasing. So you paying somebody else's rent. No Limit was what house you want in your name. Yeah, in your name.
Hey, you guys. Welcome to the Ladybug Show. It is your host with the most, Latasha Rosier Balin. And happy Tuesday to everyone on today in Facebook world, YouTube world, and Instagram world for the first time, okay? I hope you guys enjoyed your Tuesday, and I am so grateful and thankful to have you guys here on today. So if you heard the intro of the Ladybug Show, you heard an infamous voice that most of us know. It is the multi-millionaire and business owner and real estate owner, Mr. Snoop Dogg himself, you guys. And what Snoop kind of relayed in that message is that real estate is what you need to be into. He did not know, gathering all of these millions in the music industry, that it was right to own real estate instead of leasing real estate. And he did not learn that until he got with another circle within the music industry. So that video was really just put out there for you guys to know that when you get yourself around the right people, you will get the right information, because there is no reason for anyone watching this show today to be a renter. Because why? If you can pay someone else's mortgage like you do every single month, you can definitely pay your own. All right. Can I get a hand clap for that? Amen. Hallelujah. So listen, you guys, thank you guys for joining us every Tuesday. I am really excited to have our very special guest. This is my girl that knows all about mortgages, loans, and in particular, this one special program that is really helping a lot of first-time home buyers obtain the dream of home ownership. So I have, so much respect for this young lady. She has been closing deals for a long, long time. And I really want you guys to see her energy, her knowledge, and be able to help you potentially in the future when it comes to purchasing your home. I'm telling you guys, if you are a renter, you can become a owner. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to let this young lady come on and introduce herself, tell you a little bit more about who she is, what she does, and we're going to talk about Show Me the MMP. That's the name of our show today, you guys. Show Me the MMP. So without further ado, let's bring our guest from backstage, Mrs. Tammi Pritz.
I love how you call me young, so thank you so much, Latasha. That was awesome.
Girl, you look amazing. Look, we are all young at heart. Age ain't nothing but a number, girl.
Absolutely, 100%.
Absolutely. So look, thank you so much for being on the show. I am so grateful because I know how busy you are over there, putting loans together, taking applications, and just helping to change so many people's lives like you've done for a number of years. So look, without further ado, please tell my audience who Tammi Pritz is, how long you've been in the industry, and what makes you so passionate about mortgage?
Well, that's super easy to answer. So I've been in the industry for a very, very long time. Probably 20 years, 23 years.
What, 20 years, Tammy?
Yeah, at
Now,
least.
you do not look like you've been doing something for 20 years straight, girl. You go.
Yeah, absolutely. So I started probably in 2003, and I started in the operations area. So I was a processor, so I got a book thrown at me, and I was like told to learn my guidelines. So from there, I learned my guidelines. I helped process a lot of people like to buy their homes. Essentially, after that. I went and I became managers of companies, two companies prominently, and I ran their whole entire ops staff. I became an underwriter, which is why I'm now so good at my job. So I know all the guidelines, and then I decided after, I would say, probably 13 years to become an originator. And that meant that I wasn't on the ops side anymore, the operation side. I became more of a helping the customer. I wanted to help them like buy homes. And that's my passion. I love to help buyers into houses. And so I decided to research all the guidelines. My old underwriter self was, how do we help people into houses with down payment programs? And you mentioned MMP. We can focus on that tonight. But there are so many other down payment programs out there. So MMP is just one little inch of everything that's available to buyers.
And you know what? You are absolutely right, Tammy. And what I love about you is that you always focus on educating me being a part of your team and your email list about all the programs that are out there. And I am just surprised about some of the things that you send, on a weekly basis. And I'm so blessed to be connected to you, because you do share a wealth of information for us as realtors to be able to share with our buyers and connect you guys to one another to make the home ownership dream a reality, right? But like you said, there are so many programs, but we're going to focus on one, because I just feel like this program has been something that a lot of people have been geared towards in the past couple of years, because of the benefits that this particular program called Maryland Mortgage Program has, right? Yes, and absolutely. You are a phenomenal person when it comes to the knowledge of not just all the programs, but MMP. Like, you did a whole seminar and webinar on it, and I was just so taken aback. I was like, Tammy is absolutely amazing. I got to find me somebody that's trying to buy a house, okay?
Yeah. Well, I was named #1 loan officer in the state last year, the whole entire state, out after all the loan officers, thousands and thousands. MMP, the Maryland Mortgage Program, named me the #1 loan officer using that program. So I gotta know, I know my stuff.
Listen, that gets some snaps, baby. We got the #1 lender on the line with us, Lady Buggers. Woo! Ain't God good? So, Tammy, you are the right one to talk about this Maryland Mortgage Program. And, buyers are kind of scared to even take that leap, because they really don't know what's out there as far as helping them save as much money out of pocket expense as possible. And that's what Maryland Mortgage Program does. So can you tell us a little bit about what Maryland Mortgage Program is?
Yeah, absolutely. So the program is a state-run program. It's run by the state of Maryland. So you're not going to get it if you buy in DC or Virginia. You have to buy in Maryland. And essentially, they have different programs rolled under the Maryland Mortgage Program. So if you want it a 3%, again, it's a loan, it's not a grant. So that's the one thing that's a common misperception, that there are just these free grants out there. That's probably not completely true. A lot of the programs are structured in the form of a loan. And that is the way the MMP program is, Maryland Mortgage Program. It's a loan. You can get a loan of 3% towards your down payment. You can get a loan of 4% towards your down payment and or closing costs, and a loan of 5% towards your down payment and or closing cost. So the rates are set on a public website. Essentially, it's public. You can see it. I can see it. The rates are just a little bit higher than if you were to use your own money for the down payment, but it will help you get into a house because it's going to reduce your cash for closing. And the great thing about this market is that sellers are now willing to help with some of your closing costs. So,
girl, are they? Oh my goodness! Yes,
exactly. So, if you've been looking for a house for the past 2 years before the like after the pandemic and everything else that happened, that seller was not helping you. They were all for themselves. Now the sellers are willing to help because the real estate is sitting on the market a little bit longer, and you take a seller contribution, you take a program like MMP, and it's going to help you get into a house with little to no money, which is amazing.
Absolutely. Prime example. I have a client now currently under contract, and with the MMP program combined with a grant called FHLB, she's literally estimated to bring to the table $1,500, where without those things, she's going to bring well over $20,000. So, I mean, it is a lifesaver, you guys. So if you are in the market to purchase, please don't be afraid. Jump out there because you can afford a mortgage if you can afford to pay rent every month, right, Tammy?
Absolutely, 100%, and you get the tax benefits of writing off the mortgage interest. So talk to your tax accountant, but that's another benefit. I mean, who wants to rent when you can own, right?
Absolutely. So listen, let me ask you something, because you mentioned some of the sub programs or down payment assistance percentage that Merlin Mortgage Program offers. You can get 3%, 4%, 5%. So why is it that is it different qualifications for someone able to get 5% down payment assistance versus only qualifying for 3%?
No, not at all. So it's up to the buyer and what they choose. So the interest rate is just a little bit lower if you go with the 3% program. So let's just take an example. So you want to go with 3%, it's 6.75. You want to go with 4%. And again, this is all published on the Maryland website. I don't have anything to do with the rate setting. You can't lock a rate until you have a ratified contract of sale. So let's go with 3%. Your rate's 6.75 based on today's rates. If you want the 4%, it's 6.875. You want the 5% program, it's 7%. So I find in this market, everybody wants the 5%. We don't even really look at the 3% program because it's not going to make that much of a difference between 6.75 and 7. And the money you get is going to be way better at the 5% program.
Yes, that makes perfect sense. Just wanted to make that clear for everyone so they understand, what their options are. You can get a 3% Merlin Mortgage Program with a lower rate. But if you want more money, of course, they're going to tack on more for you. Nothing's free, right? Exactly. So let me ask you this too. So we got a particular rate that's associated with using Merlin Mortgage Program, but let's just say you don't use a program. Are the rates typically lower than Merlin Mortgage Programs?
They're going to be a little bit lower, but they're not going to be like so low that it's going to save the buyer hundreds of dollars. So again, the rate might be like 7% depending on the credit score, because again, that has a lot to do with it as well. It might be 1/4 to 0.5% lower. And then at First Home, we do have another program. It's called the First Time Home Buyer Advantage, and that's just a low rate program. So no down payment assistance to help with your closing costs, no down payment assistance whatsoever, but it will give you a lower rate.
Gotcha. Okay, makes sense. Now, this is another popular program that a lot of people don't know that's out there with Merlin Mortgage Program, which we call MMP, you guys. There's a program that Merlin Mortgage Program will offer to pay off student loan debt, Tammy. Oh my God. So many people have student loan debt, and that's the one thing that may be hindering them for pre-approval. Can you tell us more about this program to help pay off student loans, girl?
I absolutely can. So it's a great program. 100% an amazing program. But there's always some like buts to it. You have to have a 720 credit score. So you have to have fairly good credit. And the it's a great program, but you would actually need to be able to pay off all of your student loan debt. So let me give you an example.
Okay.
If you're eligible, the program will help you up to $50,000 to pay off your student loan debt. But say if you owe $70,000 and the program helps you with $50,000, you would have to cover the difference between the $50,000 and the $70,000. So when you go to settlement, you can't have any student loan debt open whatsoever. So buyers that have low student loan debt, an amazing program. But again, that can be misconstrued because you still have to pay off any outstanding student loan debt. You have to come to the table with no student loan debt whatsoever after the program helps you.
Understood. And that's what we're all about here. We're all about educating people, because once you know better, you do better. So typically, this would be great for someone that has $50,000 or less in student loan debt if you don't want to come out of pocket with the remainder of the 50.
Right, exactly.
Gotcha. Okay. We can do that. I mean, I know some people out there that have some student loan debt with $50,000 or less. If it's you guys, please reach out to me so that I can connect you with Tammy and we can get you from renting to owning ASAP, you guys. So, Tammy, what are credit score requirements for these programs? Because, we know that FHA can approve, someone with as low as a 580 for a mortgage loan, right? But these programs have different credit score requirements. And of course, the higher your score, the lower your rate, right? So what are some credit score requirements to qualify for the Maryland Mortgage Program?
So MMP requires a minimum 640. You're not going to get in at a 620 or 600 or 580. It is a hard stop. You need a 640 or more. My team is great at actually, like, if we talk to a customer and their credit score is 620 or 600, we look to see if we can do something called rescoring the customer, which means we run it through the credit model. And after that, we literally see, okay, well, if the customer or the buyer pays down their credit card to X amount and they give us a statement, we can send it into the credit bureaus and get their scores up immediately, which is a fantastic option. We use it all the time.
That's awesome, because some people just need maybe 15, 20 points to get to that 640, and it doesn't take a lot. A lot of people don't realize that credit does play a big part, but you don't need an excellent credit score to get to the next level.
No.
And look, this is a random question, Tammy, so do forgive me, but I know there are a lot of buyers out there that know, you need a certain credit score, but they don't understand that the debt to income ratio that you guys use plays a part in that as well. Is that kind of complicated to explain so that the buyers can kind of understand what DTI is and, the factors that goes into getting approved for a loan?
Yeah, so DTI, which I love that you use that term. So that shows that you're a seasoned professional. So that is debt to income ratio. And essentially, that means that lenders are looking at how you handle your current debt plus the mortgage payment divided by your income. That's the simplest explanation for DTI, or debt to income ratio. And it just depends on the program. Like Maryland Mortgage Program, if you have a credit score of 680 and above, it's going to let you go up to what's called a 50% debt to income ratio. If it's 640 or between 640 and 679, it's only going to let you go up to 679. So there are definitely different guidelines that we have to adhere to. And I always relate it to this. It's a puzzle. It's just, when I talk to a customer, it's a puzzle. We have to gather all your information to be able to see what is your credit, like what are your credit scores, what are your, your debts, your liabilities, your income, and then your assets. And then I say to people all the time, I get all those little pieces and I put it together in a big picture. So then I can like figure out who you are financially and see if we can help you.
Yeah, I like that analogy, Tammy. That made perfect sense. Really appreciate you explaining that. So let's focus back on Maryland Mortgage Program, because that's a great program. You guys, if you are tight on funds and are afraid to just try and see if you qualify, please, this program and other programs, and you can stack some of these programs together. Maryland Mortgage Program can give you up to 5%, but there are other programs that you can utilize to really minimize your out-of-pocket expense. Now, I know there are probably some income requirements, like if you're a person of one and you make $100,000, like, there may be some income caps on there, right, Tammy? So what are the income requirements for someone that may want to see if they can qualify for Maryland Mortgage Program?
Well, that's a little bit of a complicated question because the income requirements are on a chart. So it depends if you're a household of one or two or three or four, and it depends on the county that you're buying in. But the Maryland Mortgage Program has some of the highest income levels. So let's just take example, if you're going to go in Montgomery County, you can make up to almost $200,000 a year, and the program's still going to help you. In one of the other counties, like Washington County, it might be at $100,000. But some of our more, counties that are more populated to buy in, Montgomery, Prince George's, the income limits are very, very high. But again, it's all based on this little chart that Maryland Mortgage Program gives you. And we just have to look at how many people are occupying the house, and then we take the calculations from there.
So when you say how many people occupy the home, does this go for minors or is it adults and minors?
So it goes for anybody occupying the house. And this is also another common misperception is that, okay, so say just example, I'm married. I want to basically apply for the loan, but I don't want my husband because maybe he's got some bad credit. So the Maryland Mortgage Program, you're applying for the loan or I'm applying for the loan myself. But essentially, when I talk to a customer, I'm going to ask about that husband's income because it's based on household income. So it's not just based on who's applying for the loan. It's based on the totality of anyone over the age of 18 that has income in the house. So if you have children, then that's going to also help you because essentially, say you've got two dependents, they're 10 and 12. Great. Now you're qualifying at the 4-person household limit, but we're still looking at everyone over the age of 18 that has income in the household. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I definitely understand now. So thank you so much for that. There's another question that I had on the top of my head that has just left me. I hate when I do that. Oh my God. Okay, give me 5 seconds. It was about It's going to come to me when I ask this next question. Okay. So we know you serve DC, Maryland, and Virginia, right? Mm-hmm. Are there any other, states out there? Because I have a lot of followers that are located everywhere all across the country. Are there other, states that you serve outside of DC, Maryland, and Virginia?
No, I actually only serve those 3 areas. So you do best what you do well, right? So I've decided that I know exactly my marketplace. I know the programs in every single area. There's programs in DC, there's programs in Virginia. Other areas, I would not be able to basically serve people as well as I do. So I've decided to keep my focus to helping buyers in those areas so I can serve them the best.
Totally understand and really appreciate that too, because again, you're so knowledgeable about what's going on in the area, and I'm licensed in DC and Maryland, so you're able to help me help my clients, which I really, really appreciate, Miss Tammy. Oh my God, I really did have one more question that I don't want to let you go on because I thought it was very, very important. Oh my goodness. See, that's what I get for not writing it down.
Oh,
That's
that's all
exactly
right.
what I get for not writing it down. Does
Yeah.
anybody else have any questions? Thank you guys for tuning in on today. Please share this knowledge. This is information that someone may need to be inspired by. We appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for your support and your love. Oh my gosh, Tammy, I'm really trying to stall here, trying to think of this thing.
I know. But here's the message, guys. There are programs out there to help you. I mean, there's so many programs. So MMP, I know you just wanted to highlight that tonight, and thank you so much because it is a wonderful, wonderful program. But besides that, so many programs. So again, just taking the puzzle, trying to figure out what you qualify for. You do need a decent credit score. I mean, I'm not going to help. Not that I'm not going to help buyers, but buyers that come to me and they're like, "Hey, I've got a 550 credit score." That's probably going to like take some coaching to get your credit score up, and we're going to tell you exactly what you need to do. But at a minimum, you're going to need like a 620 score or above. But again, so many programs out there.
It came to mind, Tammy.
I love it.
So, okay, we know typically once we get ratified or go under contract, right? It can take 30 days or less, depending on how fast buyer gets docs and appraisal goes well and all of that. But with Merlin Mortgage Program, when you're a part of a program, does that prolong closing? Like, do we need an extra 15 days or can we get it done in 30 days as well?
I'd say in this market, you could probably get it done in 30 days as long as everything rolls right along. So we're able to order the appraisal, the buyer. The huge thing here is the buyer has to send in their documents immediately, work with us as the lender. But yeah, we could probably get it close in 30 days.
Okay. You heard that, you guys. So in my opinion, I think the hardest part about this entire process, you guys, is finding the house. Like literally, if you want to see where you stand, just give us a call. Let's connect, get application done, and you can find out in 24 hours or less, where you stand as far as a pre-qualification number. And then like Tammy said, once you get docs in, the faster you can get docs in, the faster we can get this process going. But the hardest part of this process, you guys, is finding the house. That's just my opinion, What do you think about that, Tammy?
I think you're absolutely correct. It is. So I always tell people, I always say it's like I'm the McDonald's taker. Like you drive up to McDonald's, you want a shake, a fry, and a Coke, right? So I'm going to ask you back after I pre-qualified you, what house do you want? What's the sales price? And are you going to ask for any seller help? And then I'm here to run your numbers financially and show you your monthly payment and your cash for closing. So super simple. The first thing you have to do is just find the house after you get pre-qualified. And that's what you're there for, Latasha.
Oh man, you throwing these analogies out there. The McDonald's taker. I love that one, Tammy.
I know. I got some more too.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Well, this has really gone into 30 minutes. Normally we're over in like 20. This means we're having a good time. So wow, Tammy, I really, really thank and appreciate you so much for taking the time because I know you're super busy. What do you project in 2023 for you?
I project that 2023 is going to be a good market for buyers. I really do. So I think buyers in 2022, they saw rates go very, very low. And then in February of 2022, they saw them spike. They doubled. They literally doubled. And a lot of buyers were scared. They didn't want to enter into the market. But you have to realize, I always tell people this, my next analogy is that the pandemic was a once in a lifetime, right? So when we saw rates tip down to 3%, 2.75, that was also once in a lifetime. You're never going to see that again. So now we're all adjusting to the reality of where are rates? Like what is real estate doing? And we're seeing it. And buyers are now starting to tip their toe back into the water. And it's fantastic to see it because rates are a little bit higher, But sellers are now, the house prices are dropping. They're giving seller help. And that's something we didn't see for the last 2 years when the pandemic was happening. So it's all about balance. Everything in your life is about balance. And that's a balance in the mortgage market, which was not happening before because sellers were literally taking advantage of buyers. So now buyers have a stronghold in the market. And they've got all these programs to help them. And I think that 2023 is going to be a fantastic year.
I agree. I really do agree. Now is the time. Now is the time, you guys. Don't hesitate. If you thought about it ever, now is definitely the time because you have more of an advantage than you did last year, especially with these sellers giving concessions, which is, closing cost assistance. Take advantage of that, you guys. Definitely take advantage. Yeah. Well, Tammi, I want to thank you so much for being a guest on the Ladybug Show. Oh my gosh, I really, really appreciate it. I look forward to doing business with you this year. And I have your information going across the screen, but just share with us how people can get in touch with you.
All right. Well, thank you for having me as a guest. I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah. So how can people get in touch with you?
They can email me. I mean, anytime. Like, I'm always available. You will always see that I answer my phone weekends, nights, Sundays, Saturdays. It doesn't matter. My phone is always on. I always answer. I always respond. If anything, I'm a little bit OCD in the fact that if somebody calls me and they don't leave a message, I call them back 3 times to make sure that I've answered or like try to get a hold of them. So it's kind of funny. I never leave anyone hanging.
Well, that's good because you need that in a lender. And that's what makes you a good lender because communication is key in this business. And if you don't know how to communicate with your buyers and your sellers, you're losing out on business and relationships. So I definitely appreciate that. Your future buyers that I'll bring to you will appreciate that. And again, we thank you so much for being a part of the show tonight.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Everybody have a good night. Okay.
Thank you, Tammi.
All right. Thank you. Bye, guys.
Good night. All right, you guys. Wow. This is episode 10. We are on episode 10, I believe, of the Ladybug Show. So I hope you guys are enjoying this podcast. I hope you guys enjoy tonight's show. It is all about education here. Education to help activate, motivate, and get you to the next level, you guys. So if you out there watching have any real estate needs when it comes to buying, selling, investing, or even renting, please do not hesitate to reach out to your girl. You can reach me by following me on all platforms at Grow with Latasha, or you can call me direct at 240-353-8440 because my goal is to help turn your dreams into keys. All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate your attentiveness every Tuesday. Please spread the word. Share this video as someone may need to be inspired by this inspiration because everyone out there in our community deserves home ownership. We deserve it, you guys, and you deserve it as well. So, all right, I hope you guys enjoy your evening. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next week, baby. Peace.